What is up, YouTube? It has been so long since I've been. Well, I just did a show last night and maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe before that, but um, it kind of reminded me that I kind of enjoy being able to uh, look at the things that I've done or that I'm doing, and then look at a certain way with me on a screen. But at the end of the day, sometimes you feel like, "What's up, Let's? Good to see you." At the same time, I think about the fact that I probably have a desire to do things when I think when there's things that are important. And I've been doing a couple of different things, created a couple of different things that I actually feel like I want to document in a way that people will be able to take and utilize in their own lives. So this is really kind of acclimate myself with the setup of my studio, what it looks like when I'm looking at my computer versus what I'm going to do on the screen, and just kind of getting a sense of how it is to be on the screen. So they say lots of water under the bridges. Good to see you. What do they say? That's a phrase, right? Lots of water under bridges. Is that along the same lines of don't cry over spilled milk? I forget what the phrase is, but I kind of understand what you're saying. But yeah, good to see you. Uh, I see. Good afternoon, Cliff. Cliff might be in here. I haven't seen him for a long time too. In fact, some of the people that have been privy to me on some level, um, I reached out to because I was on a show last night. I created a product recently. Now, some of you guys might recall when I was doing the whole golfing thing, and that's so long ago. I mean, I feel like I've gotten a little bit better with regards to my golf game, but that whole world of golf, surprisingly enough, presented to me an idea which I began to ask questions. You guys know how I am. I'm FAQ the Madness. I'm frequently asked questions guy. And then I began talking to owners of golf courses, people who did the grounds work, and I came up with a product. It's now called Flagmate. You can see it on my hat. It is a product, patent pending, whatever you want to call it. All those things going down the road, but it is literally the reason why I feel like that that this whole process of a channel is going to obviously change because very many things have changed with regards to my consideration for First Amendment auditing, the need for my mother to be able to record those things for her. All of the things that kind of took me down that road have all now been resolved. And I'm going now through a process where and to be completely frank with you, I am surprised myself at how well it is going. As simple as it was to ask a question, the question was, why can't the flag tell me where it is? That question alone took me down a whole entire road. Some of you guys might remember or be aware that I began flying drones, and I was thinking about, uh, you know, beautifying a course and showing how beautiful a course would be because I'm so in awe with courses and then dilapidated properties and real estate and all those things. And all of those things have morphed into what is now the product called Flagmate. So I think that I want to share that. So I think it's probably time for my channel to change on some level. Some of you may care, some of you might not care at all. Some of you guys might just want to talk about other things uh, the comments and all those kind of things. But it's kind of like where I'm at. And I really just want to kind of see what it's like to get back in front of a camera with StreamYard up, and share my screen and maybe see what it was I was going to show and all those. We're coming in. Let's see. That's another thing is I just recently turned 55 years old. Yesterday I was on a show. Uh, Big Jack invited me to talk about my product, and I had a really good time when Walt speaks or Walt talks. I think I'm sorry, and I was I had my screen situated where the StreamYard was on my left side where my monitors, and we kind of a delay. I think what I realized is that I keep this StreamYard part on my laptop, and if any of you guys know that this is the way that you do it, then please feel free to tell me. But there was a delay, and I think it's lessened when I am on someone else's show and I have it in a certain way. But my eyes aren't like what they used to be. So anyway, so yeah, it's kind of a reacclimation of me in front of the mic and having people out there and engaging with you on some level. Let's see, who is in there? Anyway, thanks to all of you guys who've actually showed up. I mean, I mean, it's been so long that I don't even remember how like the algorithm really works when it comes to who gets my announcements. I know I have some subscribers, and I subscribe, and all of you guys, 500 some odd people that ride is like, why the hell hasn't Craig made an update or done a video or anything like that? And last night, uh, Big Jack asked me, "Are you a content creator?" I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like that I had a story to tell in the very beginning, and I collaborate with some people. Some of those relationships worked out, some of them didn't. Um, but I don't really consider myself a quote unquote content creator. But as it stands right now, I do feel like I have discovered and come across some things in my lifetime that if I shared with the rest of the world, no, better yet, if I just kept it to myself, um, I probably wouldn't be doing a service to the world, right? So that's why I feel like I want to kind of figure out a way to kind of get it out to you guys. Obviously, in a way that protects all the things that I need to protect, but that literally gets you guys kind of like following a journey, so to speak. So let's see, Rats to the Moon says, what is, I was thinking about you several times in the too, and wondered if you unsubbed me. Rats to the Moon, I would never unsub you. As far as I'm concerned, you are going to be, what would I call you? A Hall of Famer. We're gonna call you a Hall of Famer. Let's is probably in there too. You've been at least Let's and I have actually talked on the phone before. I'm fairly certain I haven't talked to Rats to the Moon ever on the phone, but like I said, some of you guys are out there, and I've seen you for a while. So maybe you guys, let's see. Let me see if I can just share. How do I do this part right here? I mean, it's been so long. Let's see. Right there. Oh, okay. All right. So now I can see the screen that's over here. Okay, I got that part down. Whew. That was my first thing I was trying to figure out if I could do. Could I put myself on the screen at the same time that I did that? And I think the next time that I come on, what did I name this? Something probably along the lines of Test the Madness or something like, oh, Test the Madness. Yeah, that's what I put, Test the Madness. So and I can't remember There was a couple of people when I was out on the golf course golfing, they were kind of giving me pointers about golfing, and I was really literally just testing out everything. But um, yeah, so I'll just tell a story so that I don't bore you guys with uh, with stuff that doesn't matter. Let me put myself back on the screen. So so I did start golfing. I'm probably as shitty as I was before. I'm and now the crazy thing is that I golfed enough with enough people that were golfing with me that I was able to establish what they call a handicap. So if you're a bowler, for example, you can kind of get an understanding of what a handicap is. It basically tells what your potential to shoot is, uh, in relative to par. Generally, 71 or 72 strokes will get you a par on an 18-hole course. So I shoot, or I have the potential to shoot 20 past that. So we're talking about 72 plus 20. So 90 is what my potential is. I more likely shoot around 96, 97. I try to keep myself under 100. Sometimes I get a little bit lower. Um, but during the experience of me golfing nearly every day, in fact, my wife and I were talking about how often I golf and this business endeavor that we're going to be moving into. And it's like, well, you can't golf every day if you're going to be doing this endeavor at the same time, right? So, but I started getting better. But there's a couple of things that I started noticing. First of all, the condition course that I was in when I first started has increased significantly. Secondly, I started asking the question about the location of the flag. So even as a person who didn't shoot that well, I wonder, you could see on the cart, for example, um, an approximation of where the flag is located. Center of the green would be X amount of yards. And then I think they sometimes would approximate to the beginning or front of the green, maybe the back. They would kind of highlight different hazards, sand trap, water, etc. But I was asking, what about where the exact location of the flag is? Right. I began to learn, and he kind of let me know how their process was. And along the lines of that, I just basically asked the simple, which was, why can't the flag tell me where it is? So as I began asking that question, why can't the flag tell me where it is? I began surmising in my head if there's a way that I could do that. And it now embodies itself in a device called FlagMate. So what I think that I'm going to share with the world is how I went about discovering that, testing it, patenting it, reaching out to investors, getting to the point where I am currently now at. So I'm going to probably describe a number of different steps that gets us to where I am currently. So there might be, 5 or 6 videos that leads up to that point. And by the time said and done, guys might be like, did that brother really go out and create himself a product? And the answer will be yeah. This is my effort to make sure that I can put it in a way that will make sense to people, look good, be entertaining, all that kind of stuff. And then, entertain questions as they come along. So let's see. Let's see. I have Craig. Let's see. Oh, let me see. I was gonna let's put up that right there. Oh, okay. I remember how to do that. So I was thinking about you several times. I already read this. Well, Rats to the Moon. I am here now. So there you have it. Let's see. Yes, Rats. My phone has been funky lately, so didn't know it was just me. Guess I could be now. I think what people do is they just do something like this. just put them up, let people see what it says. I don't have to read every single comment unless it matters to you and you want to. You could just do something like this and let the next one show. Okay. Whew. All right, 15. I feel like still. So what has everybody been up to? I'm just curious. Rats, what have you been doing? Let's, what have you guys been doing? I honestly, so I'm gonna tell you this. I don't watch television proper that much any longer. I probably spend about 35 to 40% of my time when I'm laying down, um, going through YouTube. And now my algorithm is curated to the point where I'm receiving the things that I like, and I can just scroll mindlessly. I'll fall asleep. In fact, my wife has some with my phone up in the air and me dead asleep. So I do stuff, but it doesn't fall in the vein of the things that most of you probably who are probably subscribers to my now are used to me being part of. But again, the path that took me down that road, all of those things literally have changed so much to a good degree. You know, Lana has and lives in her dream home. She doesn't have to worry about the things that kind of got me involved with everything. Once I got involved with all that stuff, things changed to the point where now we have everything stabilized. Thank God. But anybody who has to deal with anybody who has Alzheimer's and those kind of things, you will surely know to get through all of that stuff. Develop a routine. Um, keep the memories that come that are still there present in a way that it makes their life good, and your life too. By the way, all of those things are there. I don't have to worry. I had to worry about when I first channel, um, but I am literally, and I thought that I was going to try to go about, changing my channel, but then I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, if I go into this spot and I go to the settings and all that stuff, might be disclosing things I want to disclose, and everybody knows how to capture a screen, and you're like, they out people when you go dox them or whatever. I'm not so worried about. There's nothing about me that is so secretive that I have to worry about it. But at the same time, we have to protect ourselves. So anyway, I'll probably use like a backside video, and then I can edit parts that I want to. But I think there are some things that I would like to share. Like, for example, some of you guys may be aware, or maybe you might not be aware, of what they call a lean process, lean startup. When I started Flagmate, like I said, it started with a question. And I don't even know if I did read a book. Let me see if I can find what the name of that book is. Hold on. I mean, I listen to it all the time, but let me just see. What is it? It's called, is it Audible? Yeah, Audible is what it's on. So there's Audible. All right. So, oh, yeah. So the name of the book that I read, now I read it before years ago. In fact, a couple of different things that I've lifetime that you could consider startup. Just to give you an example, there was a mass shooting in San Bernardino, I think is where it was. I happened to be listening to the radio at the time, and during the broadcast, this shooting occurred. Man, and I don't even remember if I'm allowed to say shooting or whatever. I mean, I'm not monetized. Who cares? But anyway, this shooting on a campus, and I know a person whose aunt was there. But what I heard was this broadcast kind of abruptly stopping, and I think there might have been one caller called in and was trying to describe what was going on as they were on campus. So I wouldn't it be cool if you were traveling down the road towards an active shooting situation and had an alert that told you you're about to be in danger? That was kind of my thought process. Now, that sounds very Waze like, WAZE like, right? You're traveling towards traffic and those kind of things. But that's the kind of the mindset I was going on. And I think I tried to do something lines of that was going to be that could do that. And I think it's not a bad idea. Um, but at that time, and we're talking about maybe years ago, 7 years, something like that. On the 7 years. But my mindset, the information that I have now and to do the things that I can currently do was way different back then. So my approach, I had the same mindset to create something and try to do something with it. What refined as what it is. And by the way, there's not any tools available to an individual like myself that there are currently. Case in point is this. So much to the point that I had to stop and ask whether or not it was me or it. Talking simply about Chat GPT. Now, when you get to GPT, AI, those kind of things, Gemini, whatever one, I think they have paid versions that you can use. And I did eventually upgrade. And the reason why I upgraded because I was using so much during the process of creating Flatmate that would say you're at this point and you can't ask any questions or we can't give you any more feedback until uh, 12 o'clock at night, something to get to the now I don't have that same problem. But at the end of the day, what I think now is basically a free assistant. I have an assistant and I use it just like an assistant. I say, um, can you give me a document or give me an email that says this, this, and this, and that? It'll give it to me. I look at it. I say, this doesn't make sense to me. I want it to actually say this, whatever, blah, blah. I change it and then send it off. Now, sometimes because I've been using it for so long now, it's probably been about, man, it's been maybe 7 months, almost a year I've been using this, where it actually starts to understand the types of things that you want, how you would ask it. In fact, sometimes I myself anticipating what its response is going to be. Now, my wife will say, go talk to his friend because she'll give me a totally, completely different reaction than what my good friend ChatGPT does. But, she grounds me. So, I mean, we do need balance. At the end of the day, we all balance, right? So when it comes to balance, and I'm going to try to stay ahead of, not stay ahead, but make sure that I incrementally put the things that you guys say up. So anyway, long story. I digressed, and I'm sorry about the tangent. Like I said, this is the new me trying to figure things out. I'm just kind of describing what's being back on screen again. Yeah, it's very cheap. Came to the idea that I had, the question that I asked, and the thing that I started creating. I actually I took different steps, but the thing is to reach out to a production company, a company that could produce a. I found was I'm always trying to do is trying to figure out how much it would cost to do the thing. And what I found was I know the language of productions. You know, if I wanted to create this product and I wanted to find out how much it's going to cost per unit, I didn't have the language in my toolbox to be able to speak with them. So they directed me to uh, another a design come out. I think I talked to four or five different, and I told them what my idea was, what I wanted. At that time, I had already gone through it and submitted my provisional for a patent. I did all the research. AI helped me do that and help formulate and say all that. Approach them, sign NDAs, or they already had their own NDAs in place, and then I picked a company. And I'm gonna tell you now, if you have a product, even software, and that shit ain't cheap. Let's just put it that way. It ain't cheap. Um, but long story short, I started working with them, and they developed a language that now to a production company, I will probably likely have a way to brush an item cost. And if I need 18 or 20 or 2,000 or whatever, I'll be able to have a cost. And then in the interim, I began testing. So I built it and I used off the shelf product. So I took the technology that I was thinking about. I found product already had that, and I put together. Let's just say I put them in a bag, put all the things that occurred, and then when I did that, uh, that didn't work, and I changed things. Then I did it again. I tested it, and I analyzed it, and just kept doing it over and over until I actually had something to a golf course. I pitched it to them. So right now I'm at a yes, and I'm looking to find other yeses. But because I believe that those yeses will come, not that they'll come easily, but that they will come, and it's going to probably be better for me than what it was had I not done it. So, and I want to do is just share it. I want the channel to kind of change a little bit and become like a journey to flat. All of you guys here, let's see what we got. My phone, clunky. Thanks, let's. Just catching up with the chat, man. And I remember now that I remember back in the day, there's this one guy that I do maybe Luis. I was actually, and probably to this day, when I see probably how far he has come along with regards to the production of a show, I was always amazed at how people are capable of taking care of Jinx. Good to see you. I'm sorry, I see you here. In fact, good to see you back live. Thank you. And then also, like when I was on the Iron Sharpens Iron show with you, man, they have a team of people who for the production. Well, it's really cool to see that beyond just a person sitting in front of a screen and trying to get all this stuff. It's actually kind of hard to think what you're gonna say. Look at the chat, pop something on the screen that's interesting beyond my ugly mug. Do something like, let's see, what can I do? Do something like that. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, it didn't work. See, there I go. Let's do that. Oh, yeah. See, do all those different things. And then if it doesn't work the way exactly that you want it to, then you have to stop and be like, so anyway. So I don't know. It's been 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes is cool. Kind of gave me, I do remember what it feels like to be able to. So, first of all, some of you guys may recall, I worked in call center work for a long time. I mean, I was a lab tech for a period of time. There's a time I wanted to go to medical school. Um, that changed, but I became a collection person, customer service. I did all that stuff, and then I was a trainer, and then I became the director of the training program, and then I became the director of a call center. In fact, that's why I'm in North Carolina, is because I moved from where I lived before. They had me open up a call center from the first class that I taught until the 145th person that we had, and that call center is no longer existing. I no longer am with that company. Um, but I love the interaction with my staff, my supervisors, the agents, and all that stuff. I loved all of that. But then when I left that company, my wife was working her job, and then it was like, well, how are we going to pay the bills with you not working anymore? So that's when I started selling Amazon and eBay stuff. But that business in and of itself was very routine, very unattached. I went in, we went on the weekend, we gathered a bunch of stuff, um, put it into the car, took it out, and then I had to picture it, list it, and then answer people who ask questions about it, and make discounts and all that stuff. But I wasn't interacting at all with anybody, even including my wife when she was working. um, so the creative part that is in me, as small as it may be, needed to talk and interact with people and create stuff. And even though I'm not necessarily speaking with the person right now, I know that you all are out there. And yesterday, uh, Big Jack was saying he treated each one of the 12 people that were in his audience as a million. So I mean, you guys could be 4 million people out there, as far as I'm concerned. You're important that you are here. I appreciate the support for even stopping by and clicking on whatever button that popped up that you said, "Oh, damn, fact, Craig is on live, and what the hell does he have to say, good or bad, and show some support. It's important. Something in me that I enjoy, and even though I have had such good experience, I mean, it's not all there yet, but there's so much about the journey that I have done with Flagmate that, first of all, I wish I would have all of it in the very beginning. But I think I can go back and kind of half of the world, or a fraction of the did nearly the same process that I and others have already done, nearly the same way. You would be surprised how many cool things would be out there, that are just sitting within our minds. I mean, probably all of you guys, Steph, Let's, um, Rats to the Moon, all of you guys probably have these wonderful ideas, and you'd be surprised if you put it down to a piece of paper and maybe ask ChatGPT or ask good old boy Craig, how do we get there? Maybe we might be able to change the world with some cool ass inventions. Let's see where we are now. Okay. Has any? And I'm curious. I'm curious to know, of the 4 million people that are out there listening to my voice, how many of you guys have actually created something, either that has been on the market, or maybe you've used in the neighborhood, or somebody has come to your house and said, how'd you do that? Any of you guys create anything out there? Just curious. Hmm. Everyone's staff. Who is that? Oh, business committee. He's roboting. Am I roboting? Sorry, I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm. Is that what that means? Anyway, I apologize for the parts that are bad. Anyway, let's see. I owe you lunch, Craig. When are you coming this way? So to Vigilance Committee. When's the last time? In fact, the last time that I was in Utah, I thought about talking to you or giving you a call, but I was my schedule was so tight on that, and I can't even remember exactly why we went. Why did we go? I think it was my grandson's second birthday. Um, yeah, I mean, time was just tight. So anyway, so I didn't reach out to you. But the next time, okay, I'm gonna make a promise out there. I consider myself a man of my word. So next time I come out, uh, Cliff, I will reach out to you for sure. Absolutely. I can make stuff. I don't do anything that is an invention. So, Rats, when you say you don't do anything in invention, you don't have to give me the exact kind of idea, but I'm just curious. Now, see, and I'm not, so by nature, I am not a very handy man. You ask my wife, she'll tell you. She'll probably hire somebody before she asks me to do anything. But I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to functionality, I'm trying to think of an example. My wife wanted, so we have on in our yard or on our property, we have one side that's a wooden fence, another side that has wood on it as well. We have a building on it that kind of is in between each of those. Then we have another side on the other side of the house. It's a street side. There is a gate that can open up and allow vehicles to come into our backyard. So my wife asked me to go out and do something that would make it so that the dogs couldn't get underneath or through the split. And her idea of how to do it was way different than what my idea was. And, you know, between you and me, Rats, my idea was better. In fact, that's the way that we actually ended up doing it. Um, but that doesn't mean that it's just because it was better in that sense that it's always going to be the absolute right way, because there might be other ways of thinking about doing something that may be easier for me or the person creating it to do, but doesn't work for the customer, right? So in my mind, especially when it comes like to Flag Me, for example, I really had to figure out it this way. My customer is the course owner and the course grounds people. But on down the road, um, the end user will be the customer who's actually golfing, right? In fact, the person who is going to bring on my product onto their course, there's two of them now, asked me, how does this benefit me as the golfer? So I had to kind of figure out that as well. So you said, oh, snap. What are you oh snapping about? I'm just curious. I hope nothing happened bad. Yeah. All right. Well, you know, I'm actually kind of excited that I was able to get in front of the mic. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. I'm not under a time crunch. As long as you guys are here, that I'm here too. Um, but and I'm sorry I don't. I mean, I wish I had something that I could prepared where I could be working on it and show you guys that I was doing this or that. Um, I mean, what the hell was I going to say? Oh, it's just you made me think about something. Yeah, it just eluded me. Your idea was better than your wife's. Oh, well, wait. You can't say that out loud. I mean, even though I said it out loud, we can't really acknowledge that because, I mean, so this is the thing, and I've only been married now. Some of you guys actually, now that I remember it, some of you guys might have actually been to our wedding ceremony. So we are going on 2 years now, uh, and we've lived together for we've known each other for 7 years now, but now been married for two. But I'm gonna tell you one of the things, like something as simple as this. Uh, if any of you guys know American cheese, you know we buy them from Costco or wherever we buy Sam's Club, and they come in I think a pack of 64, and they come into probably 4 individual packs of 16. Let's see. Let me just do the math. 16 times 4. Sorry. Yeah, that's 64. Right? So I will take one of those packs out, open it up, kind of keep the wrapping around. Maybe they'll be spread out in my drawer. And then she will take the damn thing and put it into a big Ziploc bag because she doesn't like the stuff strewn out through my drawer, the stuff that has my stuff in it. So she'll look into my drawer and see those 64 or however many 16 pieces of cheese that haven't been opened, and then she'll put them into another Ziploc bag. So then when it's time for me to make my sandwich, I have to then go into and open up that Ziploc bag, get my cheese out, and go through a process because she doesn't want it thrown out through my drawer. So now I'm not bitching about this. Don't get me wrong. I love my wife, and you guys might remember that when I gave my vows, I told her I'll do all the Ziploc things that you want me to do because I love her like that. But it's my drawer. So why can't I have it not in another Ziploc bag when I opened up the box in the first place? And then I open up that individual package, and then I have to open up that individual package for each slice of cheese. So just let me have my stuff strewn out through. It said your drawer. Hold on. You said Rats said your drawer. No. So we have I do have my own drawer. I eat certain stuff, she eats certain stuff that are completely different. So my stuff goes into my drawer. Now, granted, I might have a higher tolerance for clutterness and maybe seepage of all the juices that come from different packages, and she might come through and clean them out and clean them herself. But yeah, it's my drawer. So anyway. Oh God. Did you just say try leaving the seat up? Oh, so let's said try leaving the seat up yet? Let's talk about that. So let me ask all of you guys. So we have do we have 2 women in here? Yes, and at least 2 men. So let me ask you a question. If you go to a party and there are mostly men there, are we allowed to leave the seat up, or do we have to put it down for the women that are there that are less than us? I know I'm opening up a can of whoop ass somewhere here. So let's hear what people have to say. Stephanie Chink says, "Damn, Craig has his own drawer." Shaking my head. Let's see. Well, she spoils you, Craig. I owe her lunch. Yeah. Wait. Okay. Hold on a second. So, are you saying, Vigilance Committee? Are you telling me that you don't even get your own drawer? Is that what it is? I'm privileged because I get my own drawer with all my stuff. I swear the reason why it's probably out of convenience because she started me throwing my stuff in her drawer. So anyway, so let's go back to the I want to hear this. I want to hear the leaving the seat up thing. Let's see. Somebody's got to give me an answer. That's like looking at the undercarriage of a male dog. I don't know what that means. Now, I'm going to tell you. So, my mother, although she raised me to be my father's son, they talked about how they wanted to raise us. She was a single parent. I mean, there were some times where she had a man in her life, but for the most part, she was a single woman. And what it was her and my sister. And man, I mean, she might have had a bathroom in her bedroom, but my sister and I had a bathroom, and then we might have had a common bathroom for everybody else. But for the most part, whenever I'm wherever I am, I actually do put the seat down. Now, you ask my wife, she might tell you that I don't. And I swear, if there's any time that the seat was left up, it was because of the damn gremlins or the dogs that put it up. It wasn't me. I normally put the seat down. But I digress. I digress. And by the way, as far as I'm concerned, for all of you women who have ever sat on on a toilet when the seat was up, why the hell did you not look down before you sat down? I mean, I'm 55 years old. Even when I sat down and I almost sat completely on it, I caught myself because I was looking down. I realized it. So for you women who actually sit down on the rim of a toilet, I'm just going to say you should pay more attention. I'm going to get a lot of grief on that, I know, but that's the look I'm going for, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway. Well, that was fun. Yeah, I'm going to stay on here for another 15 minutes. Let's see. I'm going to try to see if I can find something that I think is worthy of showing you guys. That's Flagmate. Do I have my? I don't even have. I don't have all the things posted. I don't know if I showed. Let me see if maybe I might have. Let me just look real quick and see if I have. Maybe you guys can tell me what you think about my logo. If I. I don't even have. Okay. What I'll do is. What I'll do is. I'll post it on like as a post for all you guys who care or don't care about my logo. It's called Flagmate. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Let's see what we got here. That works for me. Let's OT. What did Let's say? What did Let's say? Yeah. So now that's a good point. I mean, depending on how it is, if it has the seat part and then the cover part, I at a minimum I will put the one down, but I most likely will put both down. But I think somebody and I had the conversation where it was like, if there's a room full of guys and just two girls, like, do you have to put the seat down? I mean, I do it by habit. And by the way, I dated a girl. This was a long time ago, but her son actually, when he was in utero, in the womb, his plumbing got clogged up, and so he actually had to have everything rerouted. So he literally had he basically, when he peed, it came out of his scrotum, right? So he had to sit down to pee. But her brothers, their mom taught all of the sons, there are four of them, to sit down when they pee. And I'm talking about grown ass men, right? When these guys, when they went to the restroom, they sat down on the toilet just like a woman would do. I thought that was interesting, but so it was nothing for her to teach her son how to pee the way that he had to, because he his they kind of made it so it goes through his scrotum. I can't even remember if it was like a little tube or something. I just remember he always sat down and peed anyway. What was that one say? It says women hover and dribble. I cannot stand that. Clean up after yourself. Oh my God. So rats. Okay. See, this is one of the things as a director that I kind of learned. Now, I didn't really realize until I was the director of a call center how upset women are about each other's activities in the bathroom. And we're talking about all the things that have to go on, from the reddest to the clearest, if you understand what I'm saying. But apparently, there are a lot of women who don't appreciate how uncareful people are when they go to the restroom. And I actually had to be a part of figuring out what was going on and try to make notes and and uh, and prompts that would say, please do this when you finish, and when you have this situation going on, please do that. But man, I swear, you women, really, when it comes down to how your restroom is, and I thought that if you go into a women's restroom, that typically you think it to be the cleanest. And sometimes I would see men, we'd be like, okay, there's a towels all over the ground, and all kinds of different things. But I would always perceive the women's bathroom to be cleaner. But according to the women, they were like, can you please make sure to tell people blah 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 blah. And so we had to go through that thing. But let's see what we got. As me age, they learn to sit and pee. I'm a slower at my age. Yeah, and man, at night now. So my wife happens to like it to be pitch black in our bedroom. So we have curtains that are really really black, so no light comes in. The television is on sometimes, but it goes off at a certain time. So I'll wake up, and at my age, like Cliff said, uh, I have to go to the restroom. Now I'm fumbling around, getting around the bed. I kind of do it just fine, but there's no lights in the bathroom, and sometimes I don't know why. I just may or may not turn on the light, and then I will realize that maybe I should turn on the light so I don't look like I was a 2-year old not aiming correctly. But yeah, men's restroom. Let's see what Steph has to say. Are nasty. It's just that we women are picky about it being clean. I see. Oh, okay. So then when you go to an establishment, for example, Stephanie, when you go to an establishment that has those dual bathrooms, do you feel like do you think that it's dirtier because there are men using it at the same time? And you prefer, for example, to just have an exclusive women's bathroom and an exclusive men's bathroom? Oh, got you. She said yes. Not only yes, but hell yes. Let's see. Public restrooms are just nasty. Okay. So and I'm gonna tell a brief story. It just reminded me of something. Now, when I go golfing with my wife, and mind you, my wife can sit at her desk doing work, and she can go through her whole entire day, nearly 8 hours, without peeing at all, not a tinkle. Now, if I if it's foggy outside and I breathe in moisture, then I'm gonna have to pee about 10 minutes later. I don't know what it is about my bladder, my little tiny pee ass bladder, but if I drink any liquid, I'm gonna have to pee. So when I go golfing, when she goes golfing, we can go through the whole course and she doesn't have to pee. Now, there are areas on the golf course where um, you know, it's acceptable to relieve yourself. Well, I was on one particular hole which happened to have some houses on one side of the course. And I was being discreet. I was definitely being discreet. But this guy came running out. He was like, "Oh my gosh, you can't pee on the course and blah 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 blah. And you're never gonna be able to golf here again." And I was like, "Are you effing kidding me?" I'm like, "Dude," I was like, "You, I mean, unless you came around where I was, you could not have seen me." So of course I talked to the people, the owners of this particular course, and it's like, going to the woods and all this stuff and blah blah blah. But I'm just curious, for those of you who are not city boys or city girls, and you might go hiking or hunting or doing all those type of things, Is it not okay to go pee outside? And if they don't have porta potties, then you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I'm saying if you got to go, you got to go. But anyway, I hold it now. I hold it a little bit longer until I get to a point where there's a tree or multiple trees around me. Because basically, when it comes out, apparently he could see it from all the way across the damn green. And that's not me saying anything particular. I'm just saying. He must have saw me. Anyway, so we have 7 more minutes for me to get to an hour. So somebody, let's say one other last topic that we can talk about that's going on. I didn't listen to any news today. I told you I'm going to be changing the channel. Probably the description will change. I don't know if I have to change the name. I think FAQ the Madness on some level will be the same kind of underlying name. I don't even know how that works. Can I change my full channel name and then my moniker, or do I just change one portion of it? But some of you guys know me as Fact the Madness, and then if I change it, then you guys won't know who the hell I am. So I'm trying to figure out like how Flagmate gets involved and how I put this little piece in there and it all comes out in just this nice little cool ass scenario. So let's see what she says. I've always used the woods if no restroom around. I live in the mountains with no one around. Okay, I got you. All right. Well, so do you, let's see, what do? You just air dry, or do you just kind of wiggle a little bit, or because us fellas, we have the ability to shake. I don't know, what does a woman get to do? Now, and I've heard horror stories, and I think this is actually a joke because I've never ever. First of all, I don't think I've actually ever like done number 2 out in the woods without like a piece of paper or something. But I can't even imagine using a leaf for sure. And then apparently people have done it when they've used the wrong type of leaf with like poison ivy or something like that. Oh my gosh, can you even imagine? After having several children and getting older, you can't wait. No, I got you. I've always tissue. Oh, okay. See now, so I'm kind of the same way when it comes to like clothing. Like whenever I go somewhere, like my wife multiple times has used my jacket when it's gotten pretty cold because she didn't bring hers because she wears flip-flops everywhere and she doesn't like extra outerwear. Me on the other hand, it could be 75, 80, 90 degrees outside, and if I think about it, which is usually the case, I always bring a jacket. It might not be the heaviest, like not a coat, but I always bring something that I can cover myself with just in case it gets cold, right? She, on the other hand, doesn't happen, so she's always using my stuff. But in your case, you always have some extra tissue, extra whatever, just to make sure. That makes sense. I got you. Damn straight, rats. Sneezing and coughing doesn't help when you got to go. Yeah, that's true. For real. All right, well, see, I mean, there's all the knowledge that we have out here in the big old world of the internet. That's why I'm doing what I'm going to be doing, making these changes. If anybody has any, suggestion, you like the idea, whatever. I don't know if I have it on there, and I don't even know where I can put it. Let me see if I'm not going to put. Let's see if I can put. I'm going to list my. Let me see if you guys can see this. Did that go? Let's see if it goes. All right. So I just put in the comments my actual email address. It's dronehandsolutions@gmail.com. I'm putting it there for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's attached to me and my business, obviously. So if you have any questions or desire to learn more, I can send you information if you reach out to me directly. Secondly, sometimes people want to say things that they don't want to say things through the chat. So I put it out there. I think I'm gonna put it attached to the FAQ, the madness. I don't know if somebody said specifically what I should do. If I like the name Fact of Madness. I think I'm probably going to keep it. But that name that you see, sometimes that can change. Maybe I'll change it a little bit to, New Journey-ish or something like that. So any ideas that you guys might have that you think will kind of let people know that it's kind of the journey of Flagmate going on. I'll start putting some, you can see the logo right here. This little part right here, um, which is my logo part. It's kind of like a GPS and kind of a T golf ball kind of thing at the same time, and then Flagmate, of course. But anyway, it is my company. It's my journey now, and I think that I want to share it with you guys. So I was just kind of getting my feet wet again, so I can get back in the groove of things. So now that you guys have welcomed with the 4 million people that showed up today, thank you guys for coming by. Then we'll make it going. So let's see. I'm going to just go through real quick and see if I can catch up with anything that I missed. I've always used the woods. I think I said that one already. Mountains. After having several children, I got that one. I got to figure out a way how I go through and mark. I've always used tissue just in case. Tissue, Mullen, damn straight. Sneezing and coughing. Okay, I got that one already. Let's see. Happiest holidays, yes. And to all of you guys, first of all, there's a number of you that maybe a couple of you that are here wish me happy birthday. My birthday was on the 25th of November. It's my favorite time of the year. When I was growing up, always one of my mother's ministries was singles people, and so when it came to having single people that were away from their family, my mother would always have them at our house, and we'd have Thanksgiving dinner, um, and Christmas dinner. In fact, there are a number of people who met each other literally hanging out with my mother and my family, her family, that being my sister and I. So Thanksgiving and Christmas time, despite it being around my birthday, not only to mention that it was around my birthday, are two holidays that I really like. So happy holidays to all of you guys. I do say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm thinking that I probably will have something come out before then. I'm not doing anything spectacular with regards to a video every day, whatever. I'm literally just easing into getting back to doing videos and editing and doing all those things. But I will tell you this: all of the things that Fact of Madness that I had to do as a channel, learning how to edit, learning how to recognize different things, how to situate things, all of those things I learned through that channel, and my presentation to businesses and all of those things, it shows that I'm aware of how to do it. So, and some of you guys are directly involved with regards to making that happen for me. So thank you guys for your support in that regard. Like I said, Merry Christmas to all of you guys. Happy New Year. I'm wishing for the best of things to come. And if there's anything that I can do to show how those things are become evident in my life, then I will try to put it in a way that you guys will like and appreciate. So thank you guys for stopping by. I think I'm just going to close it out. Had a great time hanging out with you guys and stayed here quite a long time. So I appreciate it. Yes. All right. Well, I am Craig, Fact the Madness, otherwise known as Fact the Madness. I don't even have like a thing that I can say all the time. We'll figure all that stuff out. But thanks for having me. You guys take care, and happy holidays. Peace.